drop in for us as well?
There we go. Yeah, we can do a nice drop in to start Awaken Dream Synergy this week, the Salon number 64, Dream 64, which is serving the evolution. We'll kind of take this is something to contemplate as part of this drop-in. And I'll hold off and make sure Nana's in. The idea of our circle of gifts, where we were offering our personal gifts to the field, this one we thought we'd shift it to what our works are. What do we think the vision of our works are in serving the evolution? You know, what's our ideal manifestation of our works in terms of supporting the evolution, the conscious evolution that we're initiating here? So Denise has thrown some things in the chat. We'll probably have to repeat posting those, Denise, as people come on. But we'd like to collect a lot of this basic information about each person's projects, links, and answering those questions, especially about the needs and the offers,
we can adjust the questions and actually see what comes up in the field as well.
Great.
To feel what wants to come forward. Like part of this is to really discuss our gifts and how we're networking and synergizing, and where we might have some spaces that we could use some collection or manifestation, and some that we've already manifested and what we're sharing, but also to know as a group who each is, where we're at with our projects. I know that Great Works Alliance has been deeply working on their creations, and Michael and Nana have been doing some super cool things, and so has Steve and me and you, Mark. So it's really just cool to have a drop-in, a community drop-in, and we plan that at least once a month, and especially when our presenters cancel,
right?
Because they don't have their presentations ready. So that's why it's a little bit late. Talking to all kinds of potential presenters, and a lot of times they're doing their presentations with us for the first time, so they're like trying to get it ready, and they're excited to present and participate. They're just not exactly ready. They want to have it more ready. So we have a bunch of people I'm talking to that are going to be presenting, and we're working on organizing how we present, how we offer the space and share it with people. And it really helps to have Ed on, because he's so calm and chill and asks such great questions and always brings us around to the focus. And I really appreciate that. And then always amazing with you, Mark, of course, with the profundities and how we can like bring these etheric spaces into the ground. And then all of our participation is always beautiful and wonderful. So.
Well, thank you, Denise. That was excellent. The idea of presenting these works is an opportunity for synergy, right? Because we then can link all of our networks more appropriately, right? To fulfill those needs and offers. And I have an exercise I would love to test out. It can be really good for larger groups for these Zoom calls, but I would really like to do a test run of a virtual hug exercise, which is really, like I said, nice for groups that are like 20, 30 or more. It doesn't matter after a certain point, but when you can look at the screen, and if people can put their images up, it helps with this exercise, just temporarily at least. If you don't mind. If you want to remain, yeah, there's Nana or Michael.
TC.
Yeah, just coming on screen for a moment so that part of this exercise is pick someone on the screen.
Do a gallery view then.
Yeah, do a gallery view if you have it on speaker view. Michael, are you being shy today? We just want to be able to select from the images someone we're going to hug. And now you don't have to pick just one. If you want to, that's one nice thing about virtual hugs, is that you can imagine hugging everyone on the screen. And so the objective is look on the screen, pick the person you really would love to give a hug to, or like I said, more than one. And get that connection established before you do this. And I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and for 30 seconds, give them that hug that you've been longing to give, that physical hug you've been longing to give that. And it's the safest kind of hug you can give, even though it's non-local. But the objective is to hold it for at least 30 seconds. So I'll give the start and then get your person picked out or multiple persons picked out. And then close your eyes and give them that hug and hold it for 30 seconds. Thank you, thank you. And then just give us a little idea of the, what did you experience?
I experienced wanting to hug everyone for 5 seconds and wanting to move on, being like, hug, 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 hug. Oh wait, no, try to stay with one person. But then it's a little challenging for me to stay in a hug for a long time without having any kind of expectations or feel weird about it. So I was challenged to remain in the hug and not be afraid, even virtually.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's actually the safest time to do it, right? Is a virtual hug when we are threatened normally by safety. It's pulling up something, and yet you long for the hug, but it's not safe yet, right? So
it's not
may
safe
have,
with very many people.
right. Well, it might be different neurotransmitters that are being released.
It's interesting because, you know, there's you know, I've been thinking for the last month or two that the guiding principle of Seinfeld pretty much describes 2020. And when they're creating Seinfeld, the show, they had a principle that they used in the show: no hugging, no learning. And that pretty much described 2020.
Right.
So this is Mark's way of breaking out of 2020.
Right. Yeah, we have this opportunity for how cheap travel was this year for all the meetings we've had. There's been less of a barrier to meet up with people from all over the world and regularly instead of traveling.
Or how kind we could be to the environment that we collectively as humans have not been able to do.
Yes. Yes. And exactly. And Nana, what did you experience? And love the new do. It's beautiful. Just beautiful.
Wow. Yeah, I felt very moved. I felt a hug. I don't know who hugged me, but as I was trying to give the person that I chose a hug, I felt also a hug. And then it was really nice. It was like a double sensation. That we don't
Right.
experience that much. Normally we hug someone and the person hugs us back, but I experienced hugging someone, putting my energy towards someone and then receiving energy in that moment from someone else. That was nice. Or from the same person, I don't know, but yeah.
Right. And it really doesn't matter. It's the energy you're receiving, right? In a non-local way. And it can be more than one energy coming your way, and then you reflect it back to the person you're hugging. So it has this kind of compounding energy, potential. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, we can use this for drop-ins, especially in larger meetings. It can really be useful to get some of those old things that we missed in the great pause of 2020, right? Get those longed for neurotransmitters restimulated, oxytocin in particular, but there's several that come with hugs, especially when you hold them for 30 seconds, even just in a visualization. The body doesn't really know the difference between a visualization, and it's only missing the electromagnetic piece. But the visualization triggers those neurotransmitters also. Very interesting to get used to the non-local effect. Anyway, if anyone else wants to share what they experienced, that'd be lovely. If not, we can move on. It's up to you guys.
What happens if we all hug the same person? Would that be too much energy? Or?
I don't think there's too much of that type of energy. And it gets reflected back. So if a bunch of people were hugging one person, then that comes back to you. It is reflecting right back to you. At least that's the theory of it. And we're hoping to start testing that in larger and larger groups and bring back the hugs as one of the drop-ins for calls. All right, so
I have more to say in that. I was hoping more people would talk about their hug experience.
yeah,
But
sure.
before we move on,
Sounds good.
yes, I also felt someone else hug me as well, which was sweet. And then we can work with our psychicness and see, like, okay, who was that was hugging? But like you said, Mark, I think it's doesn't matter who it was in this exercise. it's just the idea of hugging someone and feeling safe with it, and even keeping it like under wraps, you know,
Mhm.
and so people can know or feel that they've been hugged, and have it be unconditional rather than some sort of, well, you hugged me because of this or because of that. And so I've been working with this kind of feeling in the guided meditations I've been creating in Otter, which is
Mhm.
what Zoom is now working with, and
Mhm.
creating a bunch of scripts and then guided meditations. Some that I'm working on uploading to a YouTube channel. Oh, I guess I'm talking about my project now. But I was just trying to talk about it in regards to hugs.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
Good,
I don't want
good
to talk too much
segue.
about my project, but I just want to talk about this in regards to hugs. Is just like that feeling, because like I haven't had as much intimacy. I'm in a meeting right now. I'm in a meeting. What? I'm talking in a meeting. I guess I have to stop talking. You guys hold on.
Okay. All right. Well, anybody else want to comment on the hug piece, or are we ready to move into the next phase?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
I would like to say that I felt gratitude for an opportunity to give someone a hug that I've been wanting to give a hug to all week.
Mm-hmm.
And it was 30 seconds was a long time for me to stay focused, but I kept coming back to it. So I got what I wanted. Thanks.
Wonderful. Yeah, at first we played with 20 seconds, but it also was getting used to a new technique, right? A new idea. We decided to bump it up to 30 seconds to see if people did drop off, you know, and then come back, that they would have enough of the experience to trigger the neurotransmitters that the experience wouldn't otherwise do in person. Yeah, we're not as limited as we think from the limitations of space-time, the limitations of the electromagnetic field that we're normally experiencing when we're in each other's presence. But that doesn't mean it's not connected. All of these fields are connected. And then when you get into the non-local, which is in the realm of consciousness itself, space-time doesn't matter. And so that effect has an epigenetic effect. It has an influence on how the body responds. So it's just another practice that we can get used to that exercises something beyond what we normally think of as separation. We can help tackle some of the isolation that was kind of enforced, you know, by the people behind the one-way media and the governments and those who would love to keep us separate. This is how we can work beyond that and not have to remain separate, not have to remain isolated. Isolated systems, remember, lead to entropy. And something like this can lead to syntropy, where collective consciousness, a collective flow state, a non-local experience is closer to our true nature, which is connected to everything. And I think that's how we evolve. That's part of, now I'm talking a little bit about some of my projects. So I'm gonna limit that right there. If Denise, you want to continue, we've had no other volunteers except TC about his hug experience.
Got a few things going on here. Yeah, it's lovely to live in. So about the hug experience, we're still talking about that.
I think we were done.